Hello, and welcome to Great Sleep. Get ready to listen and relax. Tonight I'm going to tell you a cozy bedtime story about how a young boy heard a legend about the secret of an old windmill and set out on an adventure to uncover the mystery of the windmill. Ethan Thompson stood at the edge of the picturesque village, his eyes fixed on the towering windmill that stood like a sentinel on the outskirts. Its blades creaked in the gentle breeze, casting long shadows on the golden fields below. At 25 years old, Ethan was an aspiring writer who had recently moved to the village in search of inspiration for his stories. He had always been fascinated by mysteries and legends, and the windmill seemed to hold a secret that begged to be unraveled. The village itself was a haven of charm and tranquility, with its cobblestone streets lined with quaint cottages and flower-filled gardens. The villagers, a close-knit community, greeted Ethan warmly as he explored his new surroundings. Ethan's love for stories and legends had drawn him to this idyllic place, where tales of old were woven into the very fabric of the village. He soon discovered that the windmill held a special place in the hearts of the villagers, who spoke in hushed tones about its enigmatic past. As Ethan walked through the village, he couldn't help but notice how the windmill seemed to be a constant presence, its silhouette visible from every corner. Its weathered exterior hinted at a long history, and Ethan felt an inexplicable pull towards it. One afternoon, as he strolled through the village square, Ethan struck up a conversation with an elderly woman named Mrs. Jenkins. She was sitting on a bench, knitting a colorful scarf, her eyes twinkling with wisdom. "Good afternoon, Mrs. Jenkins," Ethan greeted her with a smile. "I couldn't help but notice the magnificent windmill on the outskirts of the village. It seems to hold a secret. Do you know anything about its history?" Mrs. Jenkins paused her knitting and looked up at Ethan, her gaze filled with nostalgia. "Ah, the windmill," she said, her voice tinged with a hint of mystery. "It has been standing there for as long as I can remember. Legend has it that it was built by an ancient civilization that vanished without a trace." Ethan's curiosity piqued. Vanished without a trace? That sounds intriguing. What else do you know about the windmill? Mrs. Jenkins leaned in closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "Some say it holds the key to hidden treasures, while others believe it is haunted by restless spirits. But one thing is for certain, young man, the windmill has always been a source of wonder and fascination for our village." Ethan thanked Mrs. Jenkins for her insights and continued his exploration of the village. He found himself drawn to the windmill, its presence beckoning him closer with each passing day. Determined to uncover the secrets of the windmill, Ethan began his search by talking to various villagers. He visited the local pub, where colorful characters gathered to share stories and laughter. Sitting at the bar, Ethan struck up a conversation with an elderly man named Henry, who had lived in the village all his life. "Tell me about the windmill," Ethan asked, his eyes sparkling with curiosity. Henry took a sip of his ale and leaned in closer, his voice filled with a sense of mystery. "Ah, the windmill," he said, his eyes glinting with excitement. "It holds a special place in our village's history. Legend has it that it was built centuries ago by an ancient civilization that has long since disappeared." Ethan leaned in closer, captivated by Henry's words. "What happened to this ancient civilization? Do you know anything about them?" Henry chuckled softly. "No one knows for sure, young man. They vanished without a trace, leaving behind only their enigmatic windmill as a testament to their existence. Some say they possessed great knowledge and power, while others believe they were simply a peaceful community living in harmony with nature." Ethan's excitement grew as he listened to Henry's tales. He soon found himself engrossed in conversations with other villagers, each sharing their own stories and legends surrounding the windmill. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Ethan met an elderly woman named Margaret. She claimed to have seen strange lights near the windmill at night, shimmering like stars dancing in the darkness. Her eyes gleamed with a mix of fear and wonder as she recounted her encounters. "There is something magical about the windmill," Margaret said, her voice filled with awe. "I've seen those lights many times, and each time, I feel a sense of wonder and mystery. It's as if the windmill holds a secret that is waiting to be discovered." Ethan thanked Margaret for sharing her experiences and bid her good night. As he walked back to his cottage, his mind was filled with images of the windmill and the secrets it held. He knew that he had to uncover its mysteries, for the sake of his own curiosity and the village's rich history. Ethan continued his conversations with the villagers, gathering more clues about the windmill's location and history. He visited the village library, poring over old books and dusty manuscripts in search of any mention of the windmill. The librarian, a kindly woman named Mrs. Thompson, greeted Ethan with a warm smile. "How can I help you today, young man?" she asked. Ethan explained his quest to uncover the secrets of the windmill and asked if there were any books or documents that could shed light on its history. Mrs. Thompson's eyes lit up with excitement. "Ah, the windmill," she said. "It has always been a subject of fascination for our village. Let me show you our collection of old books and manuscripts." Ethan followed Mrs. Thompson to a section of the library filled with ancient tomes and yellowed pages. She handed him a thick leather-bound book and said, "This is an old journal written by one of our village elders. It contains stories and legends passed down through generations. Perhaps it will provide some clues about the windmill." Ethan thanked Mrs. Thompson and settled down at a table, eager to delve into the journal's pages. As he turned the brittle pages, he was transported to a different time, immersing himself in the rich history of the village and its enigmatic windmill. Hours turned into days as Ethan devoured the journal's contents. He discovered tales of brave villagers who had ventured into the windmill's hidden tunnels, searching for hidden treasures and encountering supernatural beings along the way. One entry caught Ethan's attention, a description of a secret map that led to the windmill's underground tunnels. According to the journal, the map had been passed down through generations but had been lost over time. With renewed determination, Ethan approached Mrs. Thompson once again. "Do you know anything about a secret map that leads to the windmill's tunnels?" he asked. Mrs. Thompson's eyes sparkled with intrigue. "Ah, the map," she said. "It is said to be hidden somewhere in the village, waiting to be discovered by someone with a keen eye and a thirst for adventure." Ethan thanked Mrs. Thompson for her help and left the library, his mind buzzing with excitement. He knew that finding the map was the next step in uncovering the windmill's secrets. Ethan's journey to uncover the windmill's secret took him on a series of adventures through the surrounding countryside. He traversed rolling hills and crossed babbling brooks, encountering quirky characters along the way who shared their own tales and legends. One sunny morning, as Ethan walked along a narrow path, he stumbled upon a young woman named Emily. She was a fellow traveler, with a glint of adventure in her eyes that matched his own. They struck up a conversation and soon found themselves embarking on the quest together. "Hello there," Emily greeted Ethan with a smile. "Are you also on a quest to uncover the windmill's secret?" Ethan's eyes widened in surprise. "Yes, I am," he replied, his voice filled with excitement. "How did you know?" Emily chuckled. "I overheard you talking to Mrs. Thompson at the library," she said. "I've always been fascinated by mysteries and legends, and the windmill seemed like the perfect adventure." Ethan grinned, feeling an instant connection with Emily. "Well, it seems like fate has brought us together. Shall we embark on this quest together?" Emily nodded eagerly. "Absolutely. Two heads are better than one, as they say." And so, their journey began. Ethan and Emily walked side by side, their footsteps echoing through the countryside. They shared stories and laughter, finding solace in each other's company amidst the mysteries that surrounded them. Ethan and Emily arrived at an abandoned cottage nestled in a clearing, its weathered walls and overgrown garden hinting at a forgotten past. Rumors had circulated among the villagers that the cottage held the key to the Windmill's secret. With cautious steps, Ethan and Emily entered the cottage, their eyes adjusting to the dim light filtering through cracked windows. The air was thick with dust, and the silence seemed to weigh heavily upon them. They made their way up to the attic, their footsteps echoing on the creaky wooden stairs. Boxes and trunks filled the space, covered in layers of cobwebs. Ethan's heart raced as he searched for any sign of the old diary that held the key to the Windmill's secret. After hours of rummaging through dusty chests, Ethan discovered an old chest hidden beneath a pile of moth-eaten blankets. With trembling hands, he opened it, hoping to find the long-lost diary. But to his disappointment, the chest was empty. Emily's face fell as she saw the empty chest. Could this be a dead end? She asked, her voice tinged with disappointment. Ethan shook his head, refusing to give up. There must be something we're missing, he said, determination in his voice. Let's search every nook and cranny of this cottage. There has to be another clue somewhere. And so, they continued their search, leaving no stone unturned. They explored every room, peered into every corner, and examined every piece of furniture. Just as they were about to give up hope, Emily noticed a loose floorboard in the corner of the attic. Look, she exclaimed, pointing at the floor. There's something under that loose board. Ethan's heart skipped a beat as he rushed over to investigate. With careful fingers, he pried open the floorboard, revealing a hidden compartment beneath. And there, tucked away in the darkness, lay the old diary. Ethan's heart swelled with joy as he lifted it from its hiding place. The diary! Ethan exclaimed, his voice filled with excitement. We found it! Emily's eyes sparkled with delight. This is it! The key to unlocking the Windmill's secrets. They sat down on the attic floor, their hearts pounding with anticipation. Ethan opened the diary, its pages crackling with age. As he began to read aloud, the words transported them to a different time, unraveling the mysteries of the Windmill one page at a time. Ethan and Emily returned to the village, their hearts filled with excitement and anticipation. They gathered the villagers in the town square, eager to share their findings and unveil the Windmill's secret. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the village, Ethan stood before the crowd, clutching the old diary in his hands. He began to read aloud, his voice filled with reverence and wonder. The diary revealed the true purpose of the windmill and its connection to a long-lost treasure. Centuries ago, a brave villager had hidden the treasure to protect it from invaders. The windmill was built as a cover to hide the secret tunnels leading to the treasure's location. The villagers listened intently, their eyes wide with awe. They marveled at their ancestors' ingenuity and bravery, their pride in their heritage growing stronger with each word Ethan read from the diary. As Ethan finished reading, a hush fell over the crowd. The villagers exchanged glances, their minds filled with wonder and excitement. They realized that the windmill was not just a symbol of their village, but a testament to their ancestors' resilience and resourcefulness. To honor their history and cultural heritage, the village organized a grand celebration. The air was filled with music and laughter as villagers adorned in traditional attire danced in the moonlit square. Ethan stood among them, his heart swelling with joy. He was recognized for his contribution in uncovering the windmill's secret, but he knew that it was the collective effort of the entire community that had brought them to this moment. Throughout the night, stories were shared, songs were sung, and dances were performed. The village came alive with a renewed sense of pride and unity, their spirits lifted by the knowledge of their rich history. As the celebration drew to a close, Ethan found himself lost in thought. He sat beneath the towering windmill, its blades now still against the night sky. He reflected on his journey and the power of curiosity. He felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the support and guidance he had received from the villagers. Their stories had shaped his own, their legends had become a part of him. He realized that uncovering the windmill's secret had not only enriched his own life, but also brought the community closer together. As the night grew quiet, Ethan took a moment to reflect on his journey. He sat on a bench near the village square, gazing up at the windmill's silhouette against the starry sky. The wind whispered through the fields, carrying with it a sense of peace and contentment. Ethan closed his eyes, allowing himself to be enveloped by the stillness of the night. He felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the village and its people. They had welcomed him with open arms, shared their stories and legends, and supported him on his quest to uncover the windmill's secret. Ethan knew that his journey was far from over. There were still mysteries waiting to be unraveled, stories waiting to be told. But in this moment, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment and gratitude for the experiences he had shared with the villagers. As he opened his eyes and looked up at the windmill, Ethan made a silent promise to himself. He would continue to explore, to seek out the hidden wonders of the world. And he would always carry with him the lessons he had learned from this enchanting village and its enigmatic windmill. Inspired by his journey and the stories he had uncovered, Ethan decided to write a book. He wanted to share the windmill's secret with the world, to inspire others to delve into their own mysteries and legends. As he sat at his desk, pen in hand, Ethan contemplated the future. He knew that there were more adventures and mysteries waiting to be unraveled. The windmill had been just the beginning, a stepping stone on his path to uncovering the hidden wonders of the world. With a sense of excitement and purpose, Ethan began to write. His words flowed onto the page, weaving together tales of bravery, adventure, and the power of knowledge. He knew that his book would be a tribute to the village that had captured his heart and the windmill that held its secrets. Ethan's book became a bestseller, attracting visitors from far and wide to the village. They came to see the windmill, to walk in the footsteps of those who had come before them. The villagers continued to preserve their history and pass down their stories to future generations. The windmill stood as a testament to their resilience and ingenuity, a reminder of the power of curiosity and exploration. Ethan's journey had left an indelible mark on the village and its people. It had taught them the importance of embracing their heritage and cherishing the stories that shaped them. The windmill's secret had become a part of their collective memory, a legacy that would live on for generations to come.